All right, let's get into today's cook, man. So I've done so I've done a version of this before. Never like this though. So anybody that's been here more than 4 times heard us talk about parasites, right? Um, Anybody that's been here more than 5 times has heard us talk about the role of parasites in health. Okay. Um, the importance of doing parasite cleanses, of being mindful of parasites. Like we talk about parasites all the time, right? And um, a couple years ago, I don't even remember what show it was. I got to go back and find it. A couple years ago, I actually did a show where we looked at the different interdimensional beings, like all the demons and things of that nature, the jinn, like whatever you want to call them, whatever name you got for them, right? So we did a whole show where we kind of broke that down. Like we looked at them, what they were. Different cultures have different names for the same, same beings, right? Um, One of the things that I think I've said before, but I've never actually just sat down and kind of um, and made the case for this, what I'm gonna do today, right? It's something I've been thinking about this for a minute. Um, Kind of connecting dots in my head, um, thinking about the correlation, right? Um, so I'm almost certain, right? So I'm in the 90s, the 90 percentile, right? So my percent of certainty um, in this topic is around somewhere in the 90s, right? It ain't 100%, but it feels about 90% is somewhere that um what the parasites that we talk about and the demons that people talk about are the same thing, right? That parasites are demons. When we talk about the demons, the spiritual demons, the like, I think it's the parasites that we talk about all the time. And so so my initial thought process was that maybe the parasites are the antennas by which um the interdimensional beings can connect with us, right? But I think just as a matter of simplicity, it makes more sense that they're just the demons, right? Like we ain't even got to add a whole bunch of extra shit to it. The parasites are the demons, right? And they have been for a very long time, right? And so what I want to do today is some look at the evidence, or shit, you can call it correlation, but I'm going to present some stuff to support my assertion that the parasites are indeed the demons of this world. All right. Um so yeah, so that's what we're discussing today.
That sounded real thesis-y, bro.
I know,
I'm
right?
proud of you, dog.
All right. So
That sounds like a sermon.
I know, right? Nah, it's a little different than a sermon, but I think just kind of the correlations out of though, right? Once I started looking at the correlations, and then I started looking at some kind of historical evidence for what we're talking about, I'm like, ooh, this is tough, right? Like it's like, nah, this might be it right here. That the parasites are actually the fucking demons. Um, so let's get to it. So let's start with talking about what the definition of a parasite. So let's talk about first what is a parasite. Um, y'all hear me talk about them all the time. You hear the words all the time, dude. On Twitter, on IG, Facebook, wherever, everybody's talking about parasite cleanses. Um, and I think we all take for granted that everybody knows what parasites are. I don't think we do. But just in case, let's get on the same page. Okay. Um, so a parasite is an organism that lives on the inside of another organism, um, or a host, right? So they require a host. The parasite it benefits at the host's expense. Parasites rely on their host for survival, often causing harm in the process. They can range from microscopic organisms to larger visible ones. Okay? Um, so that's what a parasite is. All right. And so the first thing I started thinking about um was the prevalence of this motif in society. Like in pop culture, the prevalence of the parasitic um organism is everywhere, right? So think about movies that you guys know that have like parasites in them, right? So think about like the Alien. Y'all remember Alien? How the parasite, like the alien, had to gestate inside of a human being. Y'all remember that?
Yep.
Slither, right? Where alien slugs they infect like people and they control their minds. What's that? The Faculty. Remember the movie The Faculty? I think Usher was in that joint where these aliens came down, right, and infected like these teachers, like they were these alien parasites. All right. What else? Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Let's see. Night of the Creeps that had alien parasites. Alien parasites is a thing. It's a
Wasn't
movie
there a
called the Huh?
Splice? Wasn't there a movie called Splice?
Splice.
Mm-hmm.
What was Splice about?
Give me one second.
What was Splice about? So I know. Let's see. Splinter, which was a parasitic fungus that infected humans. The Exorcist that's a demonic parasite, right? Y'all remember the Denzel movie Fallen?
Good ass movie.
Yeah, that was
Good ass
good.
movie, dog. What? But it was
So
a parasite. The demon was a parasite. Azazel was jumping back and forth between bodies, feeding off the bodies, right?
with
Um,
Splice, it
like,
was a geneticist.
huh?
With Splice, it was a geneticist. Can you hear me?
You kind of muffled, bro.
What about now?
1,000% better.
All right. It was a geneticist that specialized in creating hybrids of species. They proposed the use of human DNA. Their pharmaceutical company bosses forbidded it, forcing them to conduct experiments in secret. The result is Dren, a creature with amazing intelligence and physical attributes. At first, he exceeds their wildest dreams, but as She begins to grow at an accelerated rate. She threatens to become their worst nightmare.
Bruh. Dude, like it's a common theme in movies. All right,
Hey,
especially.
Linnell, don't forget about Dreamcatcher, the one by Stephen King. Remember that
Mm-hmm.
one?
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
what I didn't think about is Venom. Venom would count with the symbiote.
Spider Man. Yep. Spider Man with Venom, and then when Spider Man got rid of the goddamn symbiote, it went to another human. Right. That's a parasite. Think about X Files. You remember on X Files, the black goo that was in people's eyes and shit? Nigga, that's a parasite. If it can't live outside of a person or a host, it's a parasite.
And it's crazy because we learned about this, in what is it, middle school science, the different types of symbiotic like relationships, with like the mutualism, commensalism, and then parasitism, like how the relationships like organisms can benefit or destroy others, and then they have like the various relationships in nature. So this has been, from the beginning of time. And then with you saying in the movies, they've shown that in several ways too.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that
Um,
series Strain?
the strain. Yep. 100%.
Hey, bro, there's a show on Netflix that you might fuck with. It's called Ares, Ares,
Call who?
Ares, Aries, Ares, but it's like Ares because it's fucking Dutch. But it's yeah. I'll just leave it there.
Yo, it's another show that we just watched. Was it the strain that I just watched? Maybe.
Strigoi,
Huh?
Strigoi.
Yeah. 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 Yep. Yep.
Wait a minute, you
So,
finished it?
huh?
You finished the strain?
I think I did. I feel like I
What
finished
happened
it.
to the city?
Hold on, wait. Let me think. You know what? Did I complain to you, Ethan, when I was watching the strain, how it got stupid?
No, you didn't complain to me about that one.
I feel like I seen it. I watched it. I feel like check this out. Either I watched it until it got dumb. I think it got dumb in like the last season or two. I think I said something to you like, bro, it got dumb. Like I got the gist of it. I got like how many seasons is the strain? Like 4 or 5, 6?
I thought it was only like three, but I could be wrong
Yeah,
about that.
I
If
thought
it's
it
three
was.
seasons, I got through at least two.
They changed the sun, and it. I ain't gonna lie, like that damn near fucked up my whole viewing experience. But so I could understand you not wanting to watch it because it fucked up. Because they did a lot of little tweaks in it that just made me almost,
All right. But yeah. So I mean, just the motif about parasites is everywhere. Right? They put it in everything. You know what I'm saying? Even The Walking Dead. Like, that felt like, even though they never really said it was a parasite, that felt like a parasite that was right. They never said what it was though.
But
Right?
in The Last of Us, they did explain how it was technically a parasitic organism that turned them into zombies.
Yeah. Um, let's see. So, yo, they're everywhere, right? So that's one of the things I want us to recognize, that the motif about parasites is everywhere, right? And it's um I don't think it's an accident, right? So let's look at a few types of demons. All right. Um let's look at a few types of demons. So there are 7 types of energetic parasites. Okay. 7 types. What are energetic parasites? Energetic parasites are non-human, non-physical beings that survive by leeching life force from humans. They're often attracted to emotional trauma, spiritual awakenings, unprotected energy fields, sexual wounds or overexposure, drug slash alcohol abuse, and victims of psychic attacks, black magic, or chronic fatigue. Okay, so that's um that's what attracts these spiritual parasites. Common signs of common signs of an energetic parasite: fatigue that no doctor can explain, brain fog or racing thoughts, feeling of being watched or followed, compulsive thoughts or behaviors that feel foreign, feeling not alone in your body, nightmares or sleep paralysis, sudden health or emotional decline after trauma or spiritual work, or pulling sensations in the chest, solar plexus, or the spine. All right. So those are signs of energetic parasites. Okay. So we'll get into the types of energetic parasites. All right. So one is the emotional feeder. Right. The emotional feeder, they feed on sadness, grief, guilt, or emotional turmoil. These often attached after trauma, breakup, or abuse. All right. Um, a lot of uh, a lot of people um, get parasites, especially these energetic kind of parasites, early on, um, due to some sort of trauma, right? Whether it be kind of abuse or um, like beating up, sexual abuse, that kind of shit. Number two, uh, sexual parasites often pass through casual sex, porn addiction, or sexual trauma, right? They thrive in sacral chakra imbalances and often show up in dreams. Okay. Um, Number three, astral leeches, low level entities that cling to the aura after astral projection, drug use, or reckless spiritual practice. All right. So some of the symptoms is sluggishness, strange dreams, sensations like crawling or static around the skin. Um, Number four, astral parasites, passed down through family lines, sometimes created by curses, unhealed trauma, or occult contracts. Generational addiction, chronic misfortune, like bad luck, recurring illness in the family. All right. Number five is thought form attachments. Thought form attachments created by others' jealousy, rage, or obsessive thoughts about you. Okay. So somebody else having strong feelings about you can attach something to you. All right. Um, let's see. What are the symptoms of thought form attachment? Obsessive inner criticism, intrusive thoughts, feeling drained after being online and around certain people. Um, let's see. Number six, karmic attachments, entities tied to unfinished past lessons or karmic debt. So you meet the same type of abuser repeatedly or suffer injustice that never seems to resolve. Mm. And number seven, synthetic or technological parasites. Rare but increasingly reported, connected to EMF overload, dark occult tech, or psychic implants. All right, so those are seven types of energetic parasites. Okay. Um, and we're gonna talk about, so those are different types of energetic parasites. We're gonna talk about some more demons later on. We'll get to talking about some demons. Okay. Um, all right, so we're good on that.
Hey, Linnell,
You
where are you pulling the list from? Like, so people can, do some research.
Here, let me drop this in the chat. This is from Astropagan. Astropagan.com. Right. Um. Yeah. So those are some energetic parasites. But there are different types of parasites, and they've been around for a very long time. Right. Um. There's something called the Babylon disease demon. Okay. The Babylon disease demon. Hold on. So in Babylon, is this Babylonian and Mesopotamian demonology? Diseases were often attributed to supernatural beings, including demons. Several demons were associated with causing illness. Right? Several demons were associated with causing illness. With Lamatsu and Pazazuzu being prominent examples. Right? Lamashtu was a fearsome demoness known to harm pregnant women and infants, causing various diseases. So we're going to talk about that in a minute. So that's Lamashtu. So think about, I want y'all to remember that. Parasite causing, or a demon that causes illness in infants and pregnant women. So remember that one. So that's Lamashtu. Pazuzu, while often invoked to ward off other evil spirits, was also associated with the plague. Um, Other demons like Asag, Utukuk, and Saluk were also linked to specific illnesses and conditions. So it wasn't just, so this isn't a new thing. The idea of demons being parasites is not new. It's been around for a really long time. Um, Real quick, the Pazuzu, isn't that some shit that's going on right now? Like, ain't that something famous right now, Mark?
Yes, it is. My
Ain't people walking around with the Pazuzu characters
little boo boo,
and toys and shit? Huh?
little boo boo.
Labubu, right? So it's a toy modeled after the Pazuzu demon.
I thought Pazuzu was the one in The Exorcist, or is that a different one?
That might be a different one.
Pazuzu was in The Simpsons.
Which was the demon in the Heretic Hereditary?
Say it again.
Hereditary, you remember the movie with the girl that got decapitated, the little girl, and then the mom
Um,
had the mother that was in the cult, and
Paimon.
then
what'd you say, D?
Paimon.
right, it is Paimon. That's right. You're right. You're right. You're right. You're right.
That's weird. That's the angel for the game I just downloaded.
Is it the
Well, you
angel?
know, there's like 72 Goetia, but if there's 72 Goetia demons, that means there's 72 corresponding angels. So you got to balance it out. Well, supposedly.
Mm-hmm. All right. So there's a demon associated with like skin diseases, Samanu. There's a disease. There. Let's see. Another type of demon sometimes associated with causing disease, Rabisu. Um, let's see. There's a demon associated with causing people to be uneasy, Alu. Um, there's a demon of the underworld who were sometimes involved in disease and plague outbreaks, who is Galu. Right. So they associated all disease with parasites, right? All these demons were parasites. All right. So remember, to them, demons were causing illness. All right. Now you go to, so that was the Babylonian and Mesopotamian demonology, right? So now we go to the Taoist, right? So In the Taoist tradition, they have, what's it called? So in Taoism slash Taoism, they have the three worms, also called the three corpses. Okay, the three worms are malevolent spirits or parasites believed to reside in the human body. They symbolize destructive impulses, disease, and death, and are obstacles to achieving longevity and spiritual immortality. They're called the three worms. Okay. Um. So these worms live in three densions or energy centers, and report a person's sins to the heavenly bureaucracy on specific days, shortening their lifespan. So these are snitches. These worms are snitches. All right. So the upper worm, located in the head, causes lust, greed, restless thoughts, weakens spiritual clarity. Okay. So the middle worm, located in the chest, causes anger, jealousy, emotional turmoil, and there disrupts inner harmony. And then you have the lower worm, located in the abdomen, promotes gluttony, laziness, and sexual desires. And it drains vital energy, your chi. So in the Taoist tradition, your chi is drained by worms. All right. Um, so the Taoist adepts practice methods to expel or starve the three worms. The methods are fasting and diet control, meditation and inner alchemy, herbal remedies and elixirs, and ritual cleansing and talisman. All right. So that's the Taoist conception of how parasites or worms are connected to disease. Right. So remember, this isn't a new thing. It's not a new thing. All right. So you got the types of demons. You got the Babylonians talking about all the different demons that cause disease. You got the Taoists talking about the different demons that are parasites that cause disease. There's another place where, when you actually look at it, you can see the the relationship between demons, parasites, and disease. What do y'all think that place is? If you had to take a guess, there's one other place that talks,
Brain,
huh?
brain. Oh, gut,
You said the brain?
gut or the
No,
brain.
no, 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 no. I'm talking about it's another. There's another system, another spiritual system,
Education.
even better. In the Bible, in the Bible, there are constant references to Jesus casting out, casting illness out of the body, but calling it demons.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay.
Huh?
Oh, I say yeah, yeah, yeah. That's true.
Know what I'm saying? Like there are constant references to Jesus in the Bible casting out demons and calling it illness. All right. Let's look at a few of these joints. Um, so in let's see, it's this Mark, in chapter Mark, right? Chapter 9, I believe. Um, where's
In
the whole
chapter Mark or the book of Mark?
the book of Mark chapter? I was going to say chapter 9 of Mark, but I was scrolling as I was fucking talking, dude. So being a dumbass.
Ain't you supposed to
Um,
be Catholic?
what
Ain't
you
you supposed
say?
to be Catholic?
You said ain't I supposed to
Hey,
be
yeah, weren't
Catholic?
you a Catholic schoolboy?
I I went to Catholic school my whole life. I've been in the Baptist church my whole life, but I'm a heathen myself. You know what I'm
I
saying?
almost want to say
Um,
fair. Almost.
yeah. I'm a heathen myself. However, this is what I'll say. Even though I'm a heathen, bro, remember, I don't think the Bible is useless. I think the Bible, um, like, is written in code.
Oh no,
And
I know that. I'm just talking about the chapter Mark. That's yeah,
oh,
I know you fuck
yeah, it's the
with
Book of Mark, bruh. Now I was gonna say chapter 9. I was scrolling as I'm
Yeah,
fucking
I
talking,
had to
bro.
open mine, so I was trying to figure out where chapter Mark. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you might be chapter mark, bro. Relax. Um, all right, so check this shit out. Let's see. So this is Mark 17, Mark chapter 9, 17 through 29. Um, let's see. And one of the multitude answered and said, Master, I have brought unto thee my son, which hath a dumb spirit, and oft times it has cast him into the fire and into the waters to destroy him. But it cast But if thou canst do anything, have compassion on us and help us. Hold on. It says, that's not the part when Jesus did nothing. Oh, here it goes. And when they came unto the multitude, there came to him a certain man kneeling down to him and saying, Lord, have mercy on my son, for he is a lunatic and sore vexed. For oft times he falleth into the fire and oft into the water. And Jesus rebuked the devil, and he departed out of him, and the child was cured from that very hour. All right. So that's Jesus casting out of him the devil. Okay. Um. Here, let's get a couple more. So Matthew 8:28 to 34. Jesus cast out demons from two men in the region of Gar, Gar, Gardarenes, sending the spirits into a herd of pigs. Jesus cast out demons from two men in the region of Gardarenes, sending the spirits into a herd of pigs.
I think it's important because people talk about this aspect of it. Where did the pigs go?
You said, where did the pigs
Mm-hmm.
go?
Back
I
to the
don't,
kingdom of darkness.
Jumped off a cliff into the ocean, bro.
Yes, sir. That's where it's at.
bruh. So everybody says you don't eat pigs. Why? Because they full of parasites. That's the big knock on pigs. They full of fucking parasites. All right. Um, and so Jesus cast out demons from people into pigs. Matthew 15:21 through 28. Jesus delivers a daughter of a Canaanite woman from a demon. All right. So this is Jesus casting demons out. All right. Jesus cast out a mute and deaf spirit from a boy. Okay. Jesus cast out a demon in the Capernaum synagogue. Let's see. So these are all in Luke right here. Jesus heals Mary, including Jesus heals many, including those possessed by demons. Okay. Um, People were healed and delivered from evil spirits. Mary Magdalene had 7 demons cast out by Jesus. All right. So you can see all throughout the Bible, Jesus is casting out demons. And in one of them, he cast the demon out into a pig, into some pigs, I should say. All right. So it goes on and on. All right. Um, let's see. What's this one? Do, 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 do.
In the chat, I just put a video of human parasites reaction with holy water.
Hey yo. Let's see. So, no, that's the Book of Mark. I don't like that one. Not that one. Yeah, blind mute. Yeah, we talked about that one. Okay, so we see many times Jesus casting out evil spirits. Now, there's one in particular that I found interesting. Well, there are a couple that are interesting. All right. Um, let's see. Where is this one at? So we're gonna talk about this one some more. All right, so here, this is Matthew 12:22 through 32. Jesus heals a blind mute demon possessed man, leading to the Pharisees claiming he cast out demons by Beelzebub. All right. So note the name Beelzebub. All right. What do y'all know about? So this is the story that they're talking about, where Jesus um, cast, he cast out these demons, and they was like, "Oh my God, you did it on behalf of Beelzebub," right? Um, let's
The
see,
Lord of the Flies.
bruh. It says, "For I tell you truly, evil and dangers innumerable in lie in wait for the sons of men. Beelzebub, the prince of all devils, the source of every evil, lies in wait in the body of all the sons of men." Y'all catch that? Beelzebub, the prince of all devils, the source of every evil, lies in wait in the body of all the sons of men. He is death, the Lord of every plague, and taking upon him a pleasing raiment, he tempts and entices the sons of men. So he's talking about Beelzebub. Okay, so there are other verses where he talks about Beelzebub in the Bible,
Wait,
right?
before you
Um,
continue, Fallen. He's the demon in Fallen, and like
no,
you
in
said,
Fallen it was Azazel.
oh shit, my bad. But he is the prince of hell in demonology.
He is, right? So in Mark chapter 3, verse 22, and the teachers of the law who came down from Jerusalem said, "He is possessed by Beelzebub. By the prince of demons, he is driving out demons." Um, Matthew 10:25. It is enough for students to be like their teachers and servants like their masters. If the head of the house has been called Beelzebub, how much more the members of his household? Matthew 12:27. If I drive out demons by Beelzebub, by whom do you drive them out? So then they are your judges. In Luke chapter 11:15. But some of them said, by Beelzebub, the prince of demons, he is driving out demons. All right. So they talk about Beelzebub a lot. All right. Um, Now, oddly enough, the word Beelzebub, what Deep just said, literally translates to Lord of the Flies. That's the translation. Beelzebub means Lord of the Flies. All right. And flies can carry over 100 pathogens, including hookworms, pinworms, tapeworms, and other bacteria and fucking fungi. Beelzebub is the Lord of the Flies or the Lord of Dung. Like everything about him is it it alludes to the flies. One of the nastiest animals on the fucking planet.
You said Lord of the Dung?
Yeah, so it's either Lord of the Flies or some translated to Lord of Dung.
Lord of Dung. I just off
Dung, D-U-N-G, yeah.
just off of what we're talking about sounds mad crazy.
Lionel, what was the word?
What, Beelzebub?
B al okay, al-dubab in Arabic is flies.
Bruh. So it's a
But what is the first letters, the first
so
word?
in English it's Beelzebub, but I think it comes from Baal, like
Ball,
balls of Baal.
Ah, Ba'al okay,
Ballsable.
Ba'al al-dubab.
Uh huh.
Ba'al means Lord.
Yeah. So it's
Lord of the flies. Yeah, even in Arabic, that's what it means, actually.
It's just the spelling was uh mixed up when it's translated to English.
yo. Yeah. So the thing is, I think they did that a lot when they translated from Arabic to English. All the A's became E's,
Just thinking
right?
about
So all the R's became L's.
makes a lot of sense considering what especially what Lamb used to say about since you're in the Bible, right? With the Tanakh, how you have G, right, for one of them, and then you have Jah for the other one.
Yeah, 100%. Same thing. All right. So we got um in the Bible they're talking about the Lord of the Flies, right? Flies are disgusting, right? They go to they land on shit, and what's in shit? Parasites. Parasites is all throughout every manner of poop is parasites. Flies are all on that shit. Flies transport parasites everywhere. Flies transport parasites everywhere. And so in the Bible, the devil is the Lord of Flies.
And flies come from maggots.
Well,
Not
yeah.
the devil, the devil's secondhand man.
Yeah.
Say it again.
Not the devil himself. He's the prince of hell. He's the devil's right hand
Who,
man, like second in command.
Beelzebub?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Mm, got you. Lord of Flies. Okay. So that's one of them things I was like, hey, what the hell? Okay. So everything is leading us back into the worms, back into the parasites. All right. Um, then it was something else I noticed with demons in the Bible too. All right. Um, y'all remember how uh where does it go? Y'all remember how what was it? The Anunnaki. What was the Anunnaki talk about creating man? What was it? Let us create man in our own image. I remember that.
Yeah.
All right. So in the Bible, all the demons. So check this out. So this is listen to the demons talk. Um, so this is the Gadarene demonic, right? And cried with a loud voice and said, so this is the demon talking. What have I done to thee, thee, Jesus, thou son of the most high God? I adjure thee by God, that thou torment me not. For he said unto him, come out of that man, thou unclean spirit. And he asked him, what is thy name? And he answered, saying, my name is Legion, for we are many. My name is Legion. So the parasite demon, his name is Legion. And he says, so he's not alone. He says, we are many. So he's not alone. It's a bunch of them. For we are many. All right. Hey, yo, is Legionnaire's disease a parasite? That's the first thing I thought about. I was like, yo, is Legionnaire's disease a parasite? I'm almost certain.
I do believe so. I think you from like
All right.
waterborne illnesses and shit.
Yeah. So
It's sorry.
hmm?
It
What?
says it's a type of the disease is a type of pneumonia caused by
Ah,
bacteria.
it's bacteria. Got you.
It does it doesn't spread from person to person. Instead, the bacteria spreads through a mist, such as from air conditioning units for
Ah,
large
okay.
buildings.
All right. Yeah. When I saw Legion, I'm like, I know they didn't name a fucking uh a disease after a demon in the Bible. Okay. But yo, so the demon in the Bible, his name is Legion, but he says we. So it's not him by itself, it's we. Right? Like parasites, it's not just one parasite in your body, it's a bunch of them shits. Right? The demon in the synagogue, Caesarea. So this is Mark 1:23-24. And there was in their synagogue a man with an unclean spirit, and he cried out, saying, let us alone. What have we done to thee, thou Jesus of Nazareth? Art thou come to destroy us? I know thee who thou art, the Holy One of God. Who the fuck is we? All right. So again with the we's. Why? Because it's not one parasite, there are a bunch. When you don't just get sick from one parasite, it's an infestation. All right. So here we go in Acts 19:15. And the evil spirit answered and said, Jesus, I know, and Paul, I know, but who are ye? Then the man in whom the evil spirit was leaped on them and overcame them and prevailed against them, so that they fled out of that house naked and wounded. All right. I guess he's saying they. Who is they? They fled out of the house. All right. So it says, no, while this demon does not explicitly say we, it implies a collective awareness of spiritual authority. All right. They fled out the house. So demons in the Bible always speak in plurals. It's not I, it's we. All right. Always we. Leave us alone. We are many. We are leaving here. All right. So that was another thing that kind of stuck out to me. All right. So then I started thinking. I'm like, all right, um, if this is true. right? Who would be hiding these connections, right? Who, who, and why would somebody wanna hide the connection between parasites and demons?
The pharmaceutical.
All right, so great. So that's a good start, but I think it gets bigger than that, right? So let's look at um let's look at when did the shit start, right? Let's look at when it started, right? It started a long time ago, right? Before the pharmaceutical companies just kind of took over, right? So I played this on Friday. So listen to this and just kind of think about this for a second.
1838, there was a gentleman named Harold Burroughs Meyer, and he was a theatrical designer and a sound engineer. And he began developing techniques that would control the emotional response of audiences and to create mass hysteria. And so from there, you have this Rockefeller Rothschild alliance. What they were doing is not only were they looking at ways to steer the masses, but they wanted to change the standard tuning of A to 440 hertz. So in 1939, they began funding Joseph Goebbels, who was the Nazi propagandist. And at that time, Joseph Goebbels, he wanted to change the standard tuning of A. And so he organized a meeting in London to do that. And they didn't invite any of the French musicians because they were opposed to 440 hertz. And then the organizers of the conference, they interviewed musicians, the instrument makers, the physicists, and then also the sound engineers. And if any of those people were against 440 hertz, then they weren't invited to the conference.
Way.
So it was all controlled. And as a result, it's not surprising that the standard tuning of A was changed to 440 hertz. And that happened June 1939, just months before World War II broke out. And the timing of that is no coincidence because 440 hertz is a destructive frequency, and that it can retrain our thoughts towards disharmony, disruption, and disunity.
So that goes well beyond the pharmaceutical companies, right? So there was an active collective push to change the frequencies of the world, to change the frequencies of music, right? From the sounds that were already here to something else. They're like, hey, yo, y'all got to change that shit, right? And the question is why? One, you like people who own companies can't do that, right? It takes people above that level to force musicians and the people that made instruments to change the frequency of a fucking note. And so to me, it shows how important um, these frequencies are, right? Yeah, it went from 432 to 440. From 432 to 440. They changed the frequency of music. Now most people hear this shit and they're like, so what? Who cares? What's the difference? All right. So what if you change some frequencies? I mean, it's still music. Music is music, whatever. No, different vibrations do different things. All right. And
Does
so, huh?
just want to ask, does this also go along with the war on bells?
It literally coincides with the war
Yes.
on bells.
Yes. Yes. Uh-huh.
Literally coincides with the war on bells. Because right around the time that they changed the frequency, they were taking the bells from all the healing centers around the world. Remember, those weren't churches. They were energy centers all around the world, and they took down the bells. So think about what they use bells for. Like even today, right? So you got the singing bowls, the sound bowls. They use bells for healing. Like there's this place in Asia where people like it's a big ass bell, and people go lay under the bell when they're sick, and it heals their body.
Every cell in their body.
Right. So all of that, like it all lines up. It's all connected to the same thing. You can't retune a bell. The bell is already set. So the only thing to do is to get rid of that motherfucker. Right? They can't retool a bell. So the only thing you really can do is get rid of it. And so they went around taking down thousands and thousands of bells. All right. And one of the funny things that I always thought was the Liberty Bell in Philly. I was saying this the other day, how they brag about it being cracked, right? They brag about the bell being cracked because there was a war on certain frequencies. All right. Now I could take a guess on why. All right. I could take a guess on why. All right. It's if I had to take a guess, I would say it's because um, the entities that rule this world don't like that frequency, and it keeps them away. And so when they finally were able to take over, they got rid of them shits, and they prevented anybody from making music that could harm them. And because we're talking about, so I read for y'all the energetic parasites, and so if you feed off of chaos, then you want all the music to promote the chaos that you feed off of, right? If you feed off of chaos, then of course you will be trying to create a world that's chaotic. All right. How important are frequencies? Well, this is Wayne Rowland talking about how he discovered the importance of frequencies.
Vibration and frequency is everything. It is literally everything. If you take an aspirin, it changes the way you vibrate. And so it blocks the nerves so that you can't feel pain. If you take deworming programs, you change your vibration, and you change your vibration so dramatically that the worms and parasites either have to get out of you, this is no longer a good home, or they die in you.
My name is Wayne Rowland. I'm just like you. I have heard that there's a for disease that's been suppressed. I have cancer. I'm not going to accept the modality of the day. I need to know if there's a that's suppressed out there, and I offer a $10,000 reward. I had to hire 8 people to man the phones in 2 shifts, but one man called me. One man. And he impressed me. And he said, there's not one cancer that's been suppressed, there's been 5. Which one do you want to know about? I said, whatever one works. He sent me to somebody that had an original Rife Ray unit, and I used it. 3 months later, the cancer was gone. So was my arthritis. And I was so gung-ho on it that I decided that I had to get involved in building Rife machines and get it out there for people and really help them. So I started doing research into the Rife technologies, and I found another man who really knew quite a bit about Rife and had all the frequencies and everything, and I went to see him and paid him a little bit of money, and he became a friend of mine. His name is John Sajeka, and John Sajeka showed me that I wasn't using the Hertz rates to get rid of cancer at all. And that upset me, because I paid good money for this. Now, and why did the cancer leave? And I looked at the Hertz rates that I was using, and lo and behold, there were Hertz rates to get rid of worms and parasites. It turned out that the lead poisoning was giving a bed for parasites to breed in furiously, and it was their waste that had given me. I was absolutely in shock. And the more research I did and the further I got into this, the more I found out that pretty much all disease is caused by worms and parasites.
So that's Wayne Rowland talking about how he cured his cancer, right? He put out a $10,000 reward for anybody who knew about a hidden cure for cancer. Dude called him, told him about, well, he said, yo, there's 5 of them. Which one you want? So give me one that works. So he told him about the Rife machine, which just, it pulses frequencies throughout your body, right? And so he was like, oh shit, this shit worked. Not only did it cure his cancer, but it cured his arthritis, right? And he's like, oh shit, I got to make some more of these. And so he starts making them. He starts making them with a guy. He's like, yo, these aren't cancer frequencies. It's like, what you mean they're not cancer frequencies? These are parasite frequencies. So the frequencies he was putting through his body were to kill parasites. Why? Because parasites are cancer, or cancer is parasites. Same thing, right? And they can be killed by frequencies. The same
No,
frequencies that they were changing, right? When they were changing the music, same frequencies that they were getting rid of when they took down the bells. It's the frequencies that kill off parasites,
now what
right?
was he saying about the lead?
Right. So, um, the the heavy metals in our bodies is what attracts them. So they also they eat the lead as well.
Oh, okay.
So they eat sugar. They also feed off the heavy metals in our fucking body, which is why, in addition to parasite cleanses, you got to do heavy metal detoxes.
Wow. Okay, that makes a lot of
But did you
sense.
know that science? I'm sorry.
Uh,
Did you know that scientists were using parasites to help people heal like gut issues and stuff like that? Because not all parasitic relationships, especially in humans, are bad or toxic, right? It's only when they basically get out of control or they're, you know, overly taking over, you know what I'm saying, the body where it becomes problematic. Um I don't think that living parasite free is a thing, right? I think that regardless, we're always going to have some form or level of parasite in us because that's the way that our bodies function. Parasites need us, sometimes we need them, but it's just when it gets to a point when they take over and they, you know, metastasize too much, that's when the problems create.
So let's be clear, right? A parasite is a one-sided relationship, right? It's only when you have a something traumatic happens that you can use a parasite to fix yourself. But after that, they gotta go, right? So think about maggots, right? So you get burn victims, and
Right.
one of the treatments that
That's a
they do
good one.
with burn victims is, they put a bunch of maggots on them to eat off the dead skin. But if they didn't have that dead skin, they wouldn't need them fucking maggots,
And
right?
that's why I'm
And
saying,
so
like, depending
no,
on the relationship, yeah. Or the
so that's the
situation,
thing,
the
right?
circumstances, yeah.
Right. So they can be used to overcorrect something else, but in terms of your everyday life, you don't need a parasite, and parasites aren't helpful. Now they're unavoidable. I agree, like they're definitely unavoidable, and so that's why you got to learn how to how to manage, your intake.
But I only believe that they're unavoidable if you are detoxing. Like, because really, if you're not doing that, they're not really unavoidable because the way that they lay eggs, they fly in the air. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you could pick up something, it could be on your skin. Like, you know what I mean? These things are like microscopic
No, I agree.
oftentimes.
Yeah, that's my thing. They're unavoidable. So you're going to encounter parasites. That's not the issue, right?
But that's
The
not
issue
being unavoidable if you're
that
encountering them.
that is being unavoidable.
Okay, maybe I don't.
Unavoidable, not avoidable.
Oh, okay,
Unavoidable.
I got you. Yeah, I had a totally
All
different thought.
right. Mm-hmm. So, um, frequencies, parasites. Okay, frequencies and parasites. All right. Frequencies can kill parasites.
Yeah, that's
Um,
really interesting. Oh, go ahead. Sorry,
mhm.
who was going?
No, go ahead. What you gonna say?
Because I was just, I found this like kid book. I love children's books. But it's about it's called What's Eating You, and it talks about parasites, the inside story, and it goes into like various types of parasites, like like the pinworms and things like that. But it doesn't just talk about humans; it talks about like other animals and their relationship, and how ectoparasites, things that live on the outside of your body, like endoparasites, the ones that are on the inside, how they're affecting in different species, so to speak. And then like good, like what makes a good parasite, how do you know this, things like that. But then it goes into talking about how medication has been used to help thwart parasites in humans, but because it's been overused, like the parasites will change their composition, and the medicine becomes not usable. They become basically numb to it, like, oh, we don't need it, we don't care about this. But what I thought was interesting was how it said something about, yeah, it's not effective. But what I thought was interesting was that it said in this, book, it said that basically like fevers, sometimes like certain your body causes to do like certain things, like even though the parasite can hide and change into like your healthy cells, like where the immune system will not recognize it. But it talks about like how the immune system is built to correct these issues, and how the essence of the fever is important because parasites can't live in the fevers. And we say that shit all the time. Like when you have a fever, it's like your body is working shit out for you. You know what I mean? And then people are always trying to like take their fever away, but they're like really killing their ability for their body to attack whatever it is that is trying to hurt them.
So it's funny that you're talking about a book where they're like, oh, the what's eating you, and then it's a children's book telling you how parasites are helpful, right? I've seen something like that, right? And so to me, it's giving the people who um here let's say it like this. Um, Outside of this country, parasite cleanses are still a thing, right? Um, Up until the 1980s, um, people still regularly parasite cleansed.
And
The
wait, and don't
the
don't get it confused. Like the book is not talking about the whole time like, oh, parasites can cure. It was just one segment where it was saying, oh, it may be like a sentence or two where it's like, oh, sometimes
no, that's how the
parasites are
bullshit
used.
starts. No, I get you. That's how the
Yeah,
bullshit
but
starts.
this whole book is literally talking about how parasites, offer their deadly delivery, how they, uh, take over your cells and recreate like
Hmm.
who they are. Like, like the host is toast is one of the chapter, the titles. And then they also have, in here where it talks about parasites in their mind control, like where parasites can actively take
Yeah, no,
over
no, yeah, I get.
a host
Yeah,
and control. Okay, go ahead.
no, I get all that, right? But I'm talking about how we got here, right? Um, there's been there's been an active effort to hide and mask the effects and prevalence of parasites in our fucking culture, in the world, right? Um, I play it all the time where this doctor said, yo, when she was in medical school in the 70s, they were taught the first thing you do when somebody comes in was to look at their blood for parasites. That was part of what you did, right? Parasite cleanses were part of healthcare in like the early 1900s, and people didn't get sick. The doctors, the dude, there was a doctor. He said, "Yo, people who do parasite cleanses throughout the year never come in because they're sick. They come in for checkups or for trauma. You fall off a roof or some shit." But what we're seeing is that more and more the presence of parasites and their effects are hidden, right, by people who I would describe as wicked and demonic. And so it's it seems congruent to me that demonic entities would make a way for parasites to invade the world by hiding what they are, by changing their name, by pretending like they're something else. And so they're watching people get sicker and sicker and sicker because of parasites, and they're not saying anything. As a matter of fact, anybody that says something gets demonized. And that's the reality of where we living at right now. That the reason that we're inundated by parasites and demons is because the people who run the world are hiding them and making an environment where they can thrive. So remember, they thrive in an anaerobic environment, right? The typical American diet is quite acidic. That's anaerobic, and therefore a breeding ground for parasites to do their thing. That's how we got here, right? And the more and more parasites take over, the more and more mental illness, right, and lower vibrational behavior runs rampant. That's what this is about. It's about the connection between the demons and the parasites, right? So one of the things I thought was interesting is what fight. So it what fights your infections? Which part of your body fights your infections? Right?
Is it the
Your
liver?
your blood cells, your
White.
white
Oh
blood
yeah.
cells, your killer cells, right? So if parasites are killed off by your white blood cells, why do I get the imagery of angels fighting demons in your body? Your white blood cells fight off are supposed to be fighting your parasites. Those are your angels versus demons right there. All right. We're gonna get into some of that in a whole second. Okay, so what I want to look at now is I want to talk about the correlation between parasites and demons. Okay. We're gonna talk about the things they have in common. All right. What's the correlation between parasites and demons? That's what we're finna look at. All right. So the first correlation between parasites and demons, they both depend on a host for survival. Okay, so parasites need a living host to feed, reproduce, or complete their life cycle. All right, like tapeworms and hookworms and shit like that. Demons, they need a human host. Well, they need a host, not necessarily human, right? Parasites can be in animals or humans. So demons need a host, right? Um, and they exert influence or feed off of the host, right? That's what being possessed is. Same thing. You need the host to feed and reproduce and to live off of. Parasites and demons, same thing. All right? Parasites and demons, same thing. They both require a host to survive. Got me? Um, hey yo, I was having this conversation right before I came up in here with the lady, and we were talking about, because I'll be talking about how viruses, viruses are fucking parasites. Well, they use the term virus to hide parasites and toxins and shit, right? And so we were having a conversation about viruses. um did y'all remember them telling you that viruses were alive? Anybody remember that viruses are alive?
I remember them. I guess at one time, but then it
They
seemed like
said
they
that they
changed.
weren't alive, and
Right.
then once they came in contact with a living, like with the host, they come alive, they come to life, and they start to reproduce and feed and all of that shit. Y'all remember that?
Yeah.
Was it
Yeah.
just me? Yeah. So they've since updated their language, and so now they say that viruses are never alive.
Right. That's what I was about to say. Like at one time they
Yeah,
were
that's new.
alive, and then like when COVID came, it seemed like then they were dead, or maybe right before
They
COVID or something.
changed it. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
they
No, they
changed it to
changed it.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. So they changed it. Now they'll say that a virus is never alive. But then if a virus isn't alive, how does it fucking reproduce?
And spread to other people
And
and be
exactly.
contagious. Right.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's wild. All right. All right. So we're doing the comparisons between demons. I mean, between demons and parasites. Right. Um. So number one, they both depend on the host for survival. Number two, they weaken or corrupt the host. All right. Um. Parasites cause physical harm, malnutrition, organ damage, right, or disease.
I have a quick question.
Huh?
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
Um, so why they change it from living to dead? The viruses are dead
Because
now.
it was hard to explain how something not alive all of a sudden becomes alive. Like that shit is wild,
Okay.
right? And so logically they fucked up, and so they had to go back and correct it. All right. So they both weaken or corrupt the host, right? Um. So for example, there are parasites that cause deafness and blindness, right? Um, the I think T. Gandhi causes deafness, and there's one called ochloric volvulus that causes blindness, right? And so this is interesting, right? Um, in the Bible, Jesus cured a blind man, right? In the Bible, Jesus cured a blind man, right? So we'll get to that in a second, right? Um, there are parasites that cause schizophrenic behavior. They can cause you to hear voices. They can cause you to go bipolar, right? Um, you guys familiar with you ever heard of T. Gandhi? right? T. gondii is the most successful parasite on Earth. All right. T
How you spell that?
uh Gondi, T. gondii, the most successful parasite on Earth. Although it can live in any animal, right? It can only reproduce in cats. Y'all ever heard that? It's the most successful parasite on Earth. All right. It can only reproduce in cats, in the intestines of cats. And so that's why they say for pregnant women to not change cat litter, because it completes its life cycle in cats and then it comes out in cat poop. And so if you're around cat poop, and the cat has the parasite, you're almost certain to get it. All right. So like I said, T. gondii can cause deafness. They tell pregnant women to stay away. It can cause problems with the baby and problems with the mother. Remember we talked earlier, I was talking about there's a spiritual parasite, a spiritual demon that causes problems with infants and mothers. So does T. gondii, causes problems with pregnant women, babies, and mothers. Everything that you can find a demon to do, there's a parasite that does it. All right. Um, T. gondii can cause, like when it infects rodents, T. gondii can cause rodents to not be scared of cats. And so what happens? The rodent ends up getting eaten by the cat, and the T. gondii can then do what? Complete its life cycle inside the cat. All right. So hold on. Oh, we don't. That's behavior. We'll get to that in a second. But so, um, physical harm. Right. That's physical harm. All right. So parasites can cause schizophrenia, bipolar. They can cause you to lose fear. All right. That's weakening or corrupting the host. All right. A lot of people who were schizophrenic when they pass away, and they get autopsy, parasites everywhere. A lot of mental illness, a lot of problems in the brain, parasites. What's that? Autism is parasites in the brain. We talked about this before, right? So the glyphosate causes leaky gut. The leaky gut allows undigested food to cross the blood-brain barrier. Parasites end up in the brain. You got parasites and heavy metals in the brain. Autism. Straight correlation. All right. Same thing with Alzheimer's. Parasites in the brain, eating on the heavy metals and chewing on the nerve endings in the brain. All right. Um. So we're talking about the correlation between parasites and demons, right? So they manipulate behavior. Parasites hijack the host's brain to serve their needs. All right. Demons are said to twist thoughts, provoke sin, and induce self-destructive acts. Same shit. My man Quan talking about Taco Bell just be calling them. What you think that is? That's them demonic
A mind
parasites.
control over Debo.
They definitely got mind control over Debo.
That's funny.
All right, dude. So they eat sugar. They eat processed food. Anything that makes your body more acidic, because it makes the environment closer to more acidic. That's what they like. They like anaerobic environments. The processed food, the sugar, the heavy metals. This is what they need. It lowers the frequency of the food, the vibration of the environment. And when you're not giving it what they need, they hijack your brain. You have cravings. That's what a craving is. It's the parasite telling you, I need, when you craving bullshit, that's the parasites, bro. Your body don't need that. The parasites crave the bullshit, right? Just like we was just talking about with the cat. The parasite tells the mouse to go get eaten by the cat. The parasite tells the mouse to go get eaten by the cat. Why? Because the parasite wants to be in the cat. Because that's where it completes its cycle. You know what I'm saying? The parasite controls behavior. Whatever the parasite needs to do, it will tell you that's what it wants to do. Right? If the parasite is craving drugs, yo, people say, oh, those are demons. You got demons. Yo, those are parasites. Those are your demons. Just like with the loss of fear in the mouse, how the mouse is no longer scared of the cat. The same thing happens in humans. And so people engage in danger seeking behavior. Right? Danger seeking behavior is a product of the demon slash parasites. All right? It causes you to lose your fear and inhibitions about doing shit that's dangerous. Like I said, the schizophrenic goddamn episodes. All right? All of that shit is parasites. But it comes off as demons. Like I said, anytime you look at these, people will be like, oh no, those are demons. He needs to be cleansed. He needs an exorcist. All right? Parasites. I want you to think about the T. Gandhi. Like I said, T. Gandhi is the most successful parasite in the world. All right. Um, I think it was like at one point, I think they say like 10 to 20% of all cats are infected with T. Gandhi. Yeah, you can get it out of them, Ramona. I mean, the zoo, I think you asked. Yeah, you can get it out of them. It's all around the world. All right. And so this leads us to thinking about cats and their position throughout history. All right. So remember, um, the Egyptians, where you get the caduceus from. Remember the caduceus, the sign of like hospitals with the wing pole and the serpents. The serpents going in spirals. Some people be like, yeah, that's your kundalini energy going up your spine. Is it? Or was it a couple fucking parasites? A couple worms? I don't know. But think about this. Um, Cats in ancient Egypt, right? And so the misconception is they thought cats, like they thought they were the gods. No, they didn't worship cats as gods, right? They worshiped cats as vessels for gods. The cats were the vessels for the gods. And we just talked about T. Gandhi can only complete his life cycle inside of a fucking cat. What was the god that they were worshiping? Hmm. Y'all ever seen the Smurfs? Y'all remember the Smurfs? What was Gargamel's cat's name?
What was his name?
Was that Ethan?
Yeah. Wasn't
Yeah, that's
Azazel,
Ethan.
was it?
Nope, wasn't Azazel. That was in Fallen. Azazel ended
Oh
up
yeah.
where at the end of the
Diamond said it,
Azrael.
yeah.
Yeah.
where did Azazel end up at the end of Fallen after Denzel killed himself? Where did Azazel end up at the end of Fallen?
Cat.
In a cat. On the Smurfs, Gargamel's cat's name was
That's real.
Azrael. What's
Yes, Ethan
Azrael?
got it in the
Who
chat.
is Azrael?
An angel.
Azrael is the bringer of death, the fallen angel. Azrael is the bringer of death. All right. In Cinderella, what was the cat's name?
Ooh, I don't know that one.
That's right, Diamond. Lucifer. Yo. And think about how many villains throughout movies or TV shows transform into cats. All right. Remember how many villains transform into cats in movies and shit.
Shit, what was the Catwoman?
Catwoman. I think Maleficent. I think she took the form of a cat. Um, like anytime you watching movies and it's a villain that can transform, chances are they gonna transform into a cat. We say Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Yep. All right. So, like I said, to me, it's not about cats
No.
being bad. It's
Yeah.
about, huh?
That was just about to say, like, because Rena was like, oh man, I like cats. Like, it's not about like not liking cats versus liking cats. It's about the ability of what cats can do, essentially. And that's why they in like ancient times like they use it like very they hold like quote unquote the symbolism of like mystical, powers. And they say like cats have like this sixth sense, like when something is happening, like when something is going on, they're able to be around you, to like come around you. But it's like you don't never necessarily know based on what he's talking about now. It's like, damn, it could be good energy or poor energy, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's
And
kind
I
of
guess
questionable.
because cats are, we attribute the feminine energy to cats, which are receivers. So
Yeah, like
that
I
would make
I would have
sense.
always
Yeah.
thought that cats spiritualism was always would always have been like a good thing. Like, oh, cats are really good, you know what I mean? But again, it's like, oh damn, what the way that he's explaining it, like with them being a vessel, it could literally be a crapshoot on what you get based on your frequency.
Yeah.
So, no, T. Gandhi is a motherfucker. right? So T Gandhi, the parasite T Gandhi is a motherfucker, all right? It's not the only one, but it's pretty prevalent, all right? So, that's if if this doesn't convince you that, hey, maybe I should think about parasite cleanse, and you got a cat, nothing will, all right? All right, so where we at? We're on number. So we're talking about the correlation. So you just got here. What's going on, y'all? How y'all feeling? It's Conspiracy University every Wednesday. All right. Um. So today's cook is about angels and parasites being the same thing. If you just got here, we kind of going through it, right?
Angels.
I'm
You
sorry,
said
not
it
angels. I'm
backward.
sorry, demons and
Mm.
parasites. Damn, my bad.
Don't mislead the people.
I
I
know,
was about
right?
to say, not you
I
trying to sit
know,
up
I
here
know.
and interchange this.
Nah, nah, nah. So we're talking about demons and parasites being the same thing.
Fallen
All
angels.
right. Um, are they falling? Are they falling?
I don't know.
Or is it just what they do? They demons, right? Um, okay. So we're going through the correlation between um demons and parasites. All right. So number one, they both depend on the host for survival. All right. Number two, they weaken or corrupt the host. Okay. Um, Number three, they manipulate behavior. And that's where we just were. They manipulate behavior. Okay. Um, Number four, they hide their presence. Um, in terms of parasites, many evade the human immune system or disguise themselves. Some worms can mimic host tissue. Some worms can pretend like they're the same thing as the host. Demons often operate covertly, masquerading as mental illness or normal negative thoughts. So a lot of times, um, when that voice in your head is telling you to do some bullshit, telling you to go to Taco Bell, that ain't you, dog. Right? The voice that's telling you to go engage in all kinds of reckless behavior, that ain't you. Right? And so it's the same thing. They both do the same thing. Like whenever you describe one, you're literally describing the other. All right, whether it's fucking doing drugs, and you're like, man, I just got it. I can't stop. This is calling me. Drinking, all right, and people be trying to blame it on the spirits. It's something in you that's controlling you. A lot of the negative thoughts,
So is that just
demons.
like the same
Go
thing
ahead.
with like smoking?
Say it again. You said it's the same thing with
I
smoking.
said, yeah, is that the same thing like with smoking or even, I know that the people going maybe like shut the fuck up, Jamila, but like even like with people who ingest marijuana, like you know what I'm saying, like are these types of things, do that count, or is it like, oh, this is herbal, that doesn't count?
So what I would say is in.
And mushrooms, yeah, but psilocybin mushrooms, not the ones that we eat,
Hey, yo.
the ones that make you
Yeah.
go crazy.
So I would say it's anything that makes your body more amenable to their presence, right? So sometimes your body can crave something that it needs, right? Sometimes it's craving things that are making your body more acidic, is lowering the vibration, lowering the frequency, and making your body um, a more conducive place for them to be. or making it to where they can spread themselves, right? Mm, let's see. So that was number one, two. That was four, hiding their presence. All right. Number five, right? We're um, talking about the correlation between parasites and demons. Okay. Uh, Number five, they spread through specific entry points. Okay. Um, so parasites enter via contaminated food, water, or mosquitoes or vectors. Right. So contaminated food, water, or different vectors like mosquitoes or flies or shit like that. Right. So we're um, let's say we're having a picnic, and there's a bunch of food out on a picnic table, and we're right next to a bunch of horses, and there are flies everywhere. Right. It's entirely possible for you know the the food to get contaminated with parasites. Okay. Um, Demons, they exploit spiritual openings, sin, trauma, right? Curses, occult practice. So, um, anytime you experience a physical trauma, your body goes into a weakened state. And so, while um, most people would say that, oh, that's when the the energetic being, right? Your defenses are down spiritually, but they're also down physically. Cortisol raises your cortisol level, lowers your pH, which puts your body in the state of acidity, which allows for parasites to develop and take hold. So spiritual trauma translates to physical weakness. All right. That's why they can be described in the same way. Right. Whenever you're in trauma, some sort of trauma happens to you, whether it be physically or mentally, your body's in a weakened state. It allows for those entities to take over. All right. Um. So you know what? Wayne had a Wayne had a which say Consuelo, trauma is highly connected to autoimmune disease. Yeah, and autoimmune disease is parasites. Like I said, trauma weakens your body. Trauma weakens your body. Um, I know some people think, all right, well, all you got to do is, eat fresh fruits and vegetables, right? So this is Wayne describing one way that you can get parasites. Not all way, but this is one way.
Now, here's the problem. We go to Safeway and we buy vegetables, right? Or we go to our garden and get vegetables. Well, thousands and thousands of eggs, parasite eggs, float in the soil and the water in the soil, and the roots from the plants suck them up into the leaves. Now, those eggs are not supposed to hatch in your body. Nature has seen to that. They're supposed to pass right through. But you buy salad dressing. Now, when they make salad dressing, they've got this huge stainless steel vat, and it makes 1 million bottles of ranch. And when they're finished with that, they want to make honey mustard. So they clean the machine out with what's called food-grade propalcohol. And when they're in a hurry like that, they don't get in there with rags and wipe it up. They just pour in the new ingredients and mix it up, and you're consuming what's called propalcohol. So we take a Petri dish and we grind up lettuce from Safeway or the health food market down there with organic vegetables, pour in a little bit of salad dressing from one of the food stores, and we grind it up and we put a swab on it on a Petri dish, and in the morning all the flukes have hatched by the hundreds. So what you're doing at body temperature is you're hatching flukes by the thousands every single day you eat salads and all this other stuff, and they get into your bloodstream. Now you have T cells, an immune system, and they see these critters and their war starts. And some of them, they just need to find a place of safety. For some reason, your pancreas gathers up wood alcohol. A fluke or two finds their way in there, and they grow up, and they have babies, and they start making a mess. They have feces, you know. Well, the flukes that are living in your pancreas, the feces there collects single-celled organisms called viruses. Their waste shuts the pancreas down, and you've got diabetes.
Nice and simple. It ain't
Ooh, but
hard at
how do
all.
you get rid of it?
Huh?
How do you get rid of? Remember, I told you.
Oh, we'll talk about that in a minute,
Okay.
right? So, the point of that is, and this kind of what me and Jamila was talking about earlier is that, yo, you're going to come in contact with parasites, right? You can't stop that, all right? So I don't want you leaving this conversation, thinking that, oh, you know what, I can avoid them. They're unavoidable. What I do want you leaving this conversation thinking is that, you know what, I can manage this. There are plenty of parasite protocols that are at my beck and call that I can engage in. All right. And the more I manage to keep the parasites at a minimum level, the less I have to worry about chronic diseases and illness, because that's where they come from. The less I got to worry about mental issues, which a lot of you motherfuckers is crazy already. Y'all need to detox them parasites out of there right now. All right. So that's what I want y'all to focus on. It's not about um, it's not about not coming in contact with them. Come in contact with them all the time. All right. There are multiple points of entry, but you got to always be fighting them. Got to always be fighting them. That's all. All right. So that was they spread through specific points of entry. All right. Um, and the last correlation is removal requires specialized methods. All right. So removal of parasites and demons both require very specialized methods, right? So we talk about all the time um, herbs, right? Right. So a lot of different herbs and antiparasitics, right? And if you have a strong immune system, then you support your immune system, it'll get it out of there, right? For demons, what they say is, yo, exorcism, prayer, fasting, or divine authority, aka Jesus casting out demons, right? So, oddly enough, y'all heard me talk, like I read for y'all a bunch of um I read for you guys a bunch of verses where Jesus was casting out, right? It was something he did on the regular, right? Oddly enough, there was a y'all remember the story. Well, it's a couple of things. Couple of things. First, so we go back to who did this. Who took all the knowledge about parasites out of the public domain? Who's hiding the parasites? Right? And I said, yo, it's the same people that um, that have the power to change music and the frequency, right? These people also have the power to hide the cure. In the Bible, it tells you how to get rid of parasites. It tells you how to get rid of demons, right? So Matthew 17:21. Howbeit this kind goeth not out but by prayer and fasting. Howbeit this kind go out but not ugh, this kind goeth not out but by prayer and fasting. They're talking about demons, right? How can fasting get rid of a demon? Because fasting gets rid of fucking parasites, right? Fasting gets rid of parasites. It's just a coincidence that fasting gets rid of demons too. Now the interesting part comes with the new versions of the Bible, right? So that was the KVG, the KJV. So this is the KJV says this. Howbeit, they're talking about demons. Howbeit, this kind goeth not out, but by prayer and fasting. The Revised Version, the NIV and the ESV say this. This kind does not go out except by prayer. What happened to fasting? They took it out.
What version is that again?
The NIV and the
Yeah, the
ESV,
new international version. Okay, yeah,
they took out
right,
fasting.
right.
All
Just
right.
like they took out the firmament. Yeah.
Mark 9:29. In the KJV, it says, this kind come forth by nothing but prayer and fasting. The Revised says, this kind can come out only by a prayer. Crickets. They took out fasting. Acts 10:30. 4 days ago, I was fasting until this hour. All right. In the NIV, Acts 10:30, 3 days ago, I was praying in my house. What the fuck?
Wow.
Corinthians 7:5. In the original, defraud ye not one the other, except it be with consent for a time, that ye may give yourself to fasting and prayer. In the NIV, do not deprive each other, except perhaps by mutual consent and for a time, so that you may devote yourselves to prayer. Notice a pattern, huh? Matthew 6:16 through 18. In the original, moreover, when ye fast. In the revised, it says spiritual discipline. So they've actively taken out fasting, right? They don't want you to know how to get rid of fucking parasites. Not naturally, at least. They want you to depend on them to get rid of them, right? They've taken out all the references to fasting, all right? Um, so I said, yo, how do you get rid of parasites? Somebody said, um, ivermectin. So do you guys remember how Jesus cured the blind man? Anybody remember how Jesus cured the blind man?
Put mud on his eyes.
He spit in mud and then rubbed it on his eyes. Does anybody know what's in your saliva? In your
Anybody else?
saliva is white cells. You know, the part of your immune system. That's why when you cut yourself and you start sucking it, that's a reason. Like you're supposed to do that because it helps heal it, right? It's a lot of it's all kind of antibiotic properties up in that joint. Yeah, there you go, Diamond. All right. So in your saliva, there's white cells, right, that help fight off parasites and shit. Anybody know where ivermectin comes from? Anybody know where ivermectin comes from? Ivermectin is natural. Ivermectin is a product of the avermectin bacteria found in soil. Ivermectin is a product of the avermectin bacteria that's found in soil. And so Jesus took some soil and some spit and put it in the blind man's eyes. Old school ivermectin, my nigga. If it's the right soil, then it has anti-parasitic properties. It can get rid of what you got going on. Glory be. All right. Glory be. Then you have the biblical diet. All right. So what do they tell you to eat and not to eat in the Bible? One, um, you shouldn't be eating what they say, no pork
No, he said everything's good.
in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
That's after it was like the New Testament is switched
Yeah,
over
yeah.
into everything was okay, but you had
Because
to
when
like
Peter
pray
was on
over
that
the
roof, or
food.
whoever that was on that roof, he told me he can't eat anything.
Mm-hmm. So undercooked pork and well, pork period, a lot of parasites, and shellfish, a lot of parasites.
I
All
was
right,
definitely gonna bring up that all of our blood types also say don't eat pork. But go
except for
ahead.
bacon.
Uh, you heard what I said. Go ahead.
So, um, yo, it appears as if everything that they talked about in the Bible, from the possessions to the dietary restrictions, the fasting, all of that shit was about parasites. All right, they're casting out parasites. Beelzebub, which Jesus cast out, was the Lord of Flies that carries parasites. However, you can describe a parasite, you can describe a demon the same way. They're literally one and the same. Literally one and the same. All right. Both susceptible to frequencies, both control your brain, try to get you to do things, have you craving foods, talking to yourself. All right. The same thing. You guys ever seen a picture of a parasite? Everybody Google a picture of a parasite.
Mm-mm. We don't want to do that.
Don't make me post a link in the chat, motherfucker.
Yuck. I don't know. I just think, no, I don't
I
want to
just
see that.
there's so many different variations of them.
Look at them all. Just look at any of them. I don't give a fuck which ones you look at.
Man, they make your skin crawl.
Tell me to
Oh
make the
God,
faces of
Carl.
demons.
Oh,
Tell me to make the faces of fucking demons. Oh, Diamond said she looked at it when I was talking about T Gandhi. Yeah. And so, like, what I see is that the more they consider something fancy, the more likely it is to have parasites. Like, what's the expensive shit? Lobster, crab legs, shrimp, full of parasites.
Caviar.
Full of parasites. Oysters, full of parasites. All the delicacies, full of parasites. Right? Sushi, parasite central. All right. Even how you eat your meat, rare, more than likely to have parasites. All right. Everything they consider a delicacy and a treat is parasite food. Either it's the parasites themselves or you're feeding the parasites with a bunch of fucking sugar. You know what I'm saying? Either everything they consider a delicacy or something that you should be wanting to eat is parasites or things to feed the parasites. That's what I mean about the people that do this. These are fucking demons. The people that design this system, they're fucking demons, and they're parasites themselves. Like whenever we get into talking about who the fuck is doing this, these motherfuckers are parasites. They don't exist
So
here on their own. All right, these motherfuckers are parasites, which is why they're pro-parasite. All right, they're trying to make this world inhabitable for fucking parasites. You know what I mean? Any questions about anything I said so far? Nah.
are we getting to how to get rid of? Okay,
You said
cause see,
what?
I just looked at Google, and it had four that can be in the body, in the in the human body, or was it four or five? Dang, I gotta
You
look
said it had
again.
what? It had what?
It had four or five that can be in the human body, and can you get rid of all of them?
So,
And
like I said, I wouldn't worry about just getting rid of everything, right? But
right,
if you hit it hard, and if you're consistent with it, so
six,
the key is
it's
to be
six.
consistent with it,
Okay.
right? So the key is to be consistent with it to make sure you're doing parasite cleanses on the regular,
Mm,
right? Make sure you're doing parasite cleanses on the regular. You're not waiting 2 and 3 years to do them, to where you get a fucking parasites a chance um to kind of
make
to
a
get their strength
community.
up. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
You don't want to give them a chance to power up.
I'm doing one that got wormwood, 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 clove, and something else right now.
Probably black walnut husk.
Yeah, yeah, black walnut, wormwood, and clove. That's what it got.
Good job. So one of the things that I'm keeping an eye on is whenever whenever people get hip to the game, they always change it up a little bit. And so ivermectin has been out since like the 70s. People have been using ivermectin since the 70s. It's becoming really popular right now. And so they not just about to give up they fucking cancer industry, the arthritis industry, the diabetes industry. They're not just gonna give that shit up. And so um I'm I'm cat on the hot tin roof about them changing up the ivermectin formulas. All right. So that's one of the things I'm kind of looking out for. All right. The fact that they know people are getting hip to the game. Like, dude, I haven't heard um this many people talk about parasites ever in the history of life.
Yeah, I never did either. But nigga, did you just say you was cat on a hot tin roof?
Yeah.
What in the it is?
That's a play.
What?
Yeah.
Cat on a hot tin roof.
That I
It's a
was like, what in the old ass? But anyway,
Hey man, stop hating on my old man sayings
Ah,
and shit.
me
I'm
too.
screaming.
Jamila. I was like, what?
Stop hating on
That
my
shit
old
older than
man
me.
sayings.
I was like, huh?
Hey man, I was about to say I'm more nervous than a long haired cat in a room full of rocking chairs. You know what I'm
Yeah, I've heard that one.
saying? God damn it. But yeah. So like I said, I got my um eyes on these people trying to either because they're making it more over the counter. I'm seeing states making it over the counter. I think a lot of the states in the South are making ivermectin over the counter. That being the case, um, I'm looking for them to start tinkering with the formula, right? Because it's like I say, it's becoming really fucking popular, really popular for people to get rid of parasites. And parasite, like, and once they start getting rid of parasites, a lot of the chronic diseases go away. A lot of the chronic diseases go away. What you say? Are angels symbolic for white blood cells since they slay the demons? Yeah, I said that. You weren't here when I said that, Consuela. I talked about the white blood cells kill off parasites. There goes your angels versus demons. Yeah, you got.
It's okay, Consuelo. You ain't gotta be sorry. He can repeat it. It's okay.
Nah, you can't make me repeat my quips. That was heat right there.
Well,
That was heat.
now it's double fire.
Uh,
I, never mind.
What'd you
Go
say,
ahead.
Taco Bell man?
Go ahead, Quan. Don't let him shut you down.
Yeah.
Let them parasites talk to us.
uh,
No, you didn't, Jamila.
Since you insist, I was gonna say then how come? Because earlier I was thinking about this. I'm like, well, why doesn't the saliva work on things like STDs, or is that something completely different?
No, it's just not strong enough, right? So, I mean, even your immune system can't kill off. Like your immune system tries to kill off a lot of parasites, but it doesn't. Like that shit don't work. Some of these shits are really strong. Some of these shits are really fucking strong. So, um, I think with ivermectin, you kill off 98% of parasites within the first 24 hours, right? Um, and then you kill off like a remaining 30% of the 2% over the next like week or so. But for that last, like 1.5%, that shit could take years. So, I mean, parasites are built for this shit. Like this is their survival. If they don't latch on to you, they die. If they don't convince you to do what's best for them, they die. So,
That
like,
I
huh?
was gonna say that makes me think about like a survival situation because that was another thing that came up earlier Two was like what happens if there's a situation where it's like a lot of these things aren't available, where it's like a lot of the things that we see like mainstream fast food restaurants or like ice cream. What if something happens and all those things aren't available anymore? Then what would you say happens to like the parasites? Like, would it just they find another way to survive, or is this a result of just like what we have available now?
This is a result of where we are now, bro. So they've always been kept at bay. Like people have always known about these things. That's why I'm reading this shit out the Bible. Like all this shit in the Bible, people knew about this shit. They knew about parasites. They knew about how to kill them off. Like you got to starve them. How do you starve them? By fasting, right? So once you stop eating, right, and your body goes into ketosis, it starts getting rid of everything that ain't supposed to be there. You know what I'm saying? And so under normal circumstances, fasting and eating a non fucking processed food diet would keep the fucking parasites at bay. In addition to, hey, you throw some herbs up in there, you good to go. But it's only in this environment right here where our bodies have been made specifically for parasites to thrive, bro. The typical Western diet is made for parasites to thrive. And so they living in their heyday.
Check this out, Linnell. What? Remember Black Root Science?
Yeah.
It said that we are supposed to fast 3 days and then eat one day, and then fast 3 days. So, cause in 3 days, in the third day, then everything gets killed off, and then you can eat, you know, this terrible food, and then go back and fast again.
Yeah, and that's another thing I was gonna say because when you mentioned how like parasite cleanses are becoming like a fad, me personally, I just don't think so because especially how much people are like so in shock when like you might say that you're fasting, they might think like, oh, is something wrong? And it's like, no. Like I feel like people have a negative viewpoint on how they view fasting, and I don't typically hear a lot of people saying that they're going to take like a medication like ivermectin to kill off.
Yeah. So, hey, bro, the media's done the job on people, right? So even today, when you say ivermectin, people be like, "What, the horse paste?" Right, nigga? Ivermectin's been around. It won a Nobel Prize in the '70s, and not for fucking horses. Right? It's been around. And so it's the people that are in charge that convince people that one of the most effective anti-parasitic treatments you shouldn't take. It's dangerous for you. You should only take it if I give you a prescription for it. If I don't give you a prescription for it, you shouldn't take it. And they're not really giving you prescriptions for ivermectin like that. All right. Like it's a concerted effort. And so you're right in that um the majority of people are going to keep doing what they're doing. Like when I say to people, yo, cancer is parasites. That's why all the off-brand cures or the forbidden cures are anti-parasitics. When you say that to people, it's like they can't conceive of it, right? There, there's been an excellent job done at brainwashing people and hiding the role of parasites. Like there's been an excellent job of hiding what parasites do, right?
I agree. I agree. Do you think things like exercise and like the sauna helps get rid of them? Probably not to like the extent of like medication, but do you think those things play a role?
Yeah, I think anything that helps your body get toxins out is dope, right? Yeah, anything that helps your body get toxins out, I think, yo, that shit is lit. All right. Anything that raises your body temperature, because that's what it does, it raises your body temperature. right? So once you raise your body temperature, it's like, oh shit, we're good to go. All right. That's what a fever is anyway, right? Is you raising the body temperature to get rid of stuff.
Are they like extremes? Like do the parasites just they can't live in like let's say like extreme heat and extreme cold? It's like do they only thrive in like a sweet spot, like where it's like just lukewarm?
Right. So heat, you can kill them off with heat. You can't kill the eggs though with heat. That's the problem. So the adults and the teenagers, yeah, you can kill those with heat. Can't kill the adults with heat.
And don't forget the
I
binders.
mean,
When you are the importance of binders when you are going through any type of parasitic detox, like it's important to use things like I say all the time: bentonite clay, activated charcoal, psyllium husk. Those are considered binders that once these parasites are dying in your system, it causes them to latch onto those to not be reabsorbed back into your system to start their life cycle over again.
yeah, buddy. So like I said, you can kill off. It's easy to kill off adults and teenagers. Killing off the eggs is hard as shit. That's where ivermectin is so dope, right? The way ivermectin works. Um, so ivermectin, it disables the parasite's defenses to where it can't defend itself against the body. And so, but what it does that's so amazing is when a parasite lays eggs, the eggs are also born with um, not being able to defend themselves, right? So ivermectin makes it to where um, the generation comings can't defend themselves against your body. That's why that shit is amazing. All right, Nobel Prize winning shit, bro. Nobel Prize winning stuff. All right. So yeah, good talk. Good talk. Any
Yeah,
other questions?
and I yeah, no, I was just gonna say I think me personally, I think they might have like a humbling effect. Like sometimes I think it's a little good to experience the other side, like just just seeing like okay, this is the type of damage that happens when you do eat a little bit of processed food, or when you're not working out, or when you're not like understanding what happens to your body, especially when you're doing certain things to it. I don't know. I think some of these things have like a little bit of a humbling effect to it.
Uh, they can. They'll definitely put you on your ass, bro. They'll definitely put you on your ass. Um, all right. So, what do y'all think, man? Am I have I lost my shit? Pure D crazy. All right. The parasite demon connection.
I love that connection. I love that. That was
See,
yeah.
at least Ramona's with it. Ramona's with it. I fucked with it. All right. What about
I'm
you
with
people in the
everything
chat?
against them damn parasites, so fuck it.
Hey yo. All right. You people in the chat. What y'all think? Y'all with it? Or am I off? Am I bugging? Am I fucking bugging?
Diamond said
I
it sounded
really,
on point to her.
Yeah, but
yeah,
Diamond do drugs, and she got a cat. That's the T
Don't
Gandhi.
do
they were
her.
saying it's
That's
a
the T
good
Gandhi
cult,
Leave
talking.
her
but
alone.
it's
You can't
not.
agree. Do no
It's
Aries.
not
I'm
really
gonna need you to
effective to
quit
her
that.
unless she's like pregnant. But I really fuck with the whole cat um thing. I was like, what? Because we got rid of our
And
cat, and
she
I was
don't
like,
have a
life
cat.
actually has been better.
Oh, Dime, you must know somebody that
What
got a
about
cat.
dogs?
What you say, Quran?
No, I'm saying like what about dogs? Like dogs don't have something that they give to humans.
I mean, dogs can carry worms too. They got parasites and shit, and yeah, I'm sure they can infect you. I mean, dogs be licking your face and all of that shit. But T
Yeah,
Gandhi is a bitch. Though.
their dogs' tongues are like one of the dirt. They say it's the cleanest, but you ever seen people that get
lick batter dogs, and then they end up with a whole body outbreak of flesh eating bacteria on their skin, and they have to get fucking amputations and shit. Yeah, don't. Y'all better stop letting y'all dogs and shit lick y'all. That's nasty.
Not only that, just like hives. Like I remember even like growing up as a kid and being around like dogs. It's like it will always just feel weird. Like you'll start getting itchy, your nose will like flare up. But then obviously over time you might get used to it. But I'm just saying like that initial phase of like living with like other animals. I don't know. It just it seemed kind of unnatural to me. But I feel like people get used to it. Like over time you just become immune to it. And it's like it is what it is.
Hey yo. So, but no, I mean, remember T. Gandhi. It can be in every animal, but it completes its life cycle in cats. So it tries to find a way to get into a cat. But after it gets into a cat and it completes the life cycle, it tries to go every place else. If you got a dog, it'll go into the dog, to the people, like all of that shit. So yeah, T. Gandhi ain't the only ain't only in cats. All right. It's one of the wildest ones though. Like I said, um, causing like parasites is causing deafness, blindness, schizophrenia, bipolarness, and when they autopsy people with mental illness, they're full of parasites. Like it's right there. It's right there. So yeah, man. All right. Let me go ahead and give y'all a moment of positivity, man. Because there was a lot today. Yes, Ramona, your bipolar behavior could possibly be the result of parasites.
No, no, it's just
But
that you
ain't nothing
said
gonna change the fact that you're a Taurus. So
you said bipolarness.
yes, your bipolarness is well established, but your Taurusness ain't going nowhere. So cleanse
Hey,
away, my
we
nigga.
great.
Cleanse
We
away.
great. We great.
Bruh. All right, yo. No other questions before I give y'all some positivity before we get up out this joint. No. All right. Remember. Well, hold on. Let me give y'all some positivity. Where'd it go? All right. So this is y'all moment of positivity, man. It's a whole moment though. This is a word right here.
12 things that you need to remember when you're doing well. 1, keep your fucking mouth shut. 2, do not tell people your plans until they materialize. 3, never expect to get what you give. 4, every day you get up, be better. 5, be grateful for everything that you have. 6, sometimes what you're holding on to is the one thing you need to let go of. 7, if you want to buy things without looking at the price tag, stop watching the fucking clock and work your ass off. 8, God puts people in your life for one reason. 9, the moment you start to achieve success, the devil is going to come knocking on your fucking door. 10, you're gonna always upset people when you do what's best for you. 11, you are gonna lose all the friends that are not true friends. Your true friends are gonna stick with you through thick and thin. 12, life doesn't get easier. You just get fucking stronger and you can endure anything. So let's go, baby.
All right. That's a moment of positivity for your ass. God damn it.
That sounded real aggressive.
I know, right? I know, right? Um, let's see. So remember, um, we are here Friday a little late. All right. So like I said, just a little bit. We're gonna be here maybe around 9:30. I'm thinking about 9:30 or so. All right. What's up, Victory?
Said, bro, I got my Elden card today, bro.
My man. My man. Hey, check this out. I'm finna close this out. I'm finna open up a whole nother room. Give me a second. My brother. All
I
right,
had to
yo.
get myself
So
woke.
yo, we're back on Friday. Remember, Conspiracy University. On TikTok, Conspiracy University, on IG, and the podcast Conspiracy University. So I'm actually going to put this cook up immediately. So as soon as it's ready, I'm gonna go ahead and throw it up right quick because I think this is a dope ass. This is a dope one. So, yeah, man, I'm gonna see y'all in a minute. See y'all Friday. Like I said, around about a half hour late, so it'll be 10:30. I'm thinking 10:30 Eastern on Friday, man. That being the case, appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all Friday. We out.
Thanks for coming to the cookout, but you need the right gear. Blackisuniform.com, you can get it right here. We talk flat earth and mud floods. You might hear about the dome. No matter the topic, you just need something with the shield on. Blackisuniform.com, where conspiracy analysts are at home. Blackisuniform.com, where conspiracy analysts are at home.
Bigger Sport is love and light in a bottle, a CBD infused salve that rids the body of pain, arthritis, carpal tunnel, and muscle aches. There's no job too great for Bigger Sport. Headaches, muscle spasms, and menstrual cramps are a thing of the past. Bigger Sport is the Swiss Army knife of your medicine cabinet. Order your jar today at vigorforpain.com.